Hey everybody, it's Marie. Welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to have a roast chicken and roasted veg. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not a grown-up about eating my vegetables unless they're roasted. I do like them roasted with some seasoning. They change flavor. It's just such a nice flavor when they're roasted in the oven. And I saw this on Google, so it must be true. You can do this in a bundt pan. So we're gonna give it a whirl. I cut up some various veg here, just into chunky sized pieces because this is going to go in the oven for an hour or more. So I've got in here some chunks of mushrooms for Nick, some red pepper, green pepper, onion, sweet pepper, some zucchini, whatever you wanted. I thought I had carrots, but apparently not. So anything you want, cut them in kind of chunky sized pieces. And all you have to do is flavor them or cover them in oil. I would suggest an olive oil. I'm going to use the Fresh Harvest Garlic Olive Oil from Sunset Gourmet. We've tried this a few times and see how far down the jar we are, and we really like it. It doesn't scream garlic, it just really lifts your dish. So I'm thinking the garlic flavor in this dish is only going to make it better. So the Fresh Harvest Garlic Olive Oil, or any olive oil of your choice. So you want to squirt that in and measure it like that perfectly. No, you just need the vegetables to be wet enough that when you season it, the seasoning will stick. Okay, so I'm going to squirt in a little bit more, exactly that much. Don't be afraid to oil this well, because like I said, it's going to go in the oven for about an hour or a little bit more. And then I'm going to season it with Mediterranean Greek, Sunset Gourmet Mediterranean Greek. This is the size of the jars that you get. This one holds just under 100 grams. They're huge spice jars. They have two openings, one for shaking and one for putting a spoon in. I have done roasted veg on the sheet pan many times, and I've made videos. You're just going to season it really well with the flavoring because it's going to roast, and you want that roasted flavor to stick with the veg. So all I did was wet it with some oil, season it with the Mediterranean Greek, and I'm going to toss this into a bundt pan. I sprayed the bundt pan. I don't know whether I had to or not because there's going to be the juice from the chicken go in there, but I did. So, wow. Looks like lots of vegetables. We're gonna have vegetable leftovers, that's for sure. All right, so there you go. Whatever vegetables you have on hand, that's it. Oiled and seasoned. I'll put a little bit more seasoning on top. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I took out the middle rack so that it's a little bit, the rack that's available is a little lower in the oven because this, with the chicken on top, is a higher item to put in there. Okay, so that's it. Veggies are ready. This doesn't get easier. Oh, I've got a runaway piece of onion. So now I have my chicken here. I'm going to use the garlic oil on it as well. It won't take much, but it'll be really good. So when you're oiling the outside of the bird before you season it, A, the seasoning will stick, and B, it'll get nice and toasty in the oven. Okay? So we're going to do that for good measure. And again, Mediterranean Greek, you're going to season that really well. Okay? Like I said, sometimes I do these videos and I think, oh, it's just so embarrassing to show you because it's dead simple. But it's these quick little recipes that we use over and over again. I like to cook. I like to try new things. I've never tried this, but I don't like to be all day in the kitchen. Okay. So I've got some Mediterranean Greek on there. And right-handed chicken with the bundt pan, all right? And you just stick the chicken on top of the bundt pan, legs pointing down there. You stick the chicken on top of the bundt pan, and the juices are going to run down into the vegetables, excuse me. And I'm going to stick this onto, I'm going to put it on a cookie sheet with a liner, just because because I wasn't smart enough to put tinfoil over the hole in the cone of the bundt pan, and if juices drip, I don't want them dripping to the bottom of my oven. So this little guy's ready to go. I'm going to slap it in a 400-degree oven, and I'm going to check it at an hour. This is probably just under a 4-pound chicken, so I'm not sure, it might take another 10 or 15 minutes. I will come back when it's all out of the oven. Part of the reason this is so great is because the chicken is up above the height of the pan, so there's a better chance that it's going to get nice and crispy. We'll see. Haven't tried it before. Hey everybody, we're back. I've just lifted the chicken and the roasted veg. Came up nice and crispy. Now the video I saw online said cook it for an hour at 400. I think they must have had that on convection oven. I chose not to use convection today because I'm not as confident with that. So mine roasted for an hour and a half. It's a good sized chicken, but still it was an hour and a half at 400 degrees. So I'm just gonna lift it. Now I was glad I had put it on the cutting board. On the cutting board. I was glad I had put it on the cookie sheet because it did drip down through the hole. So here is my roast chicken. Like that. And then the roasted veg. So we'll see how well we like this. There seemed to have been a ton of juice come out of that chicken. So it's almost like the veggies are more simmered in the chicken juice than when you pan roast them on the sheet pan. But I thought this was worth a try. I thought it was interesting that they were doing this chicken on a bundt pan, but probably a similar concept to when you do a beer can chicken. Yeah, I'm spilling this all over the place, but that's okay. Oh, it smells amazing. I don't know why they haven't come up with smell-o-vision yet, but wow. Nice and roasted. There's my roast veg. I saw on the display that I had the video online that they crumbled up some feta cheese and put over that. That's not something I have on hand right now. So that's my roasted chicken and veg done in a bundt pan. I hope you have a great night.